Hello you all, good day, and I welcome you all to my channel. So on today's episode we will be drafting this ruffle skirt that I recently saved on my phone. Something similar to this is what I want. And then for the top of the dress, I would like to sew something like this for it. So I'm sewing something like this, similar to this. I have not concluded yet, but I think something like this, and this kind of skirts for the dress to form a gown. So let's move on to the cutting of the tutorial. So I'll be doing a slash and spread method. That's why I have my pattern over here, my brown paper. I just recently got it from my nearby store on my street, and this is one of the spare zip that I have. I might likely manage it or just get a longer zip. This is basically student zip for uniforms. I don't know if I can manage it because it's an extra zip I have and it has the same color with the material that I want to use. Now for the material, this is a 2 yards of material that I was gifted this material from one of my favorites. So I'm just going to use this to sew the dress, since it's the only thing that will basically go for the style. So let's move down to the cutting of the dress. So I'll cut out the skirt. I'll draft out the skirt first. My waist is 39. I'll just quickly confirm that. Let me use 38. My waist is 38. My hip, my hip is 45. So I'm just going to write it here. Thank God that my waist has reduced by 1 inch. So my waist is 38. My hip is 45. So let's move on to the cutting of the dress. So first of all, I'm just going to remove all of this from my table. Then, since this is a 2 yards, one thing about this material clothes is that they usually have more length than normal Ankara. Then one thing about this material is that you look, the place that is going to be the body, the side of the body. Let me explain deeply. The place that is going to be this side, the body, should be the stretchy part of the material. Why for the length, that's the length, should be the non-stretchy part of the material. So let's move over to the cutting of the dress. So now for this material, this is the stretchy part. See, this is where my hand is. By the time I do like this, see where my hand has got into. So this is the stretchy part of the material. Why here? This is where my hand is. By the time I do like this, it's still the same. So this is the non-stretchy part of the material. So I'm just going to fold this side into two. Then I'll fold it again into two. When I measured my half length, I got about 28 to 30 inches. Let me just use 30. So by the time I measure 30, this is what I have. So I still have more space remaining. But first off, what I'll do is I will draft out the skirts because it's a slash and spread method.
Now guys, for this side, I would advise you use the longer part of your pattern. A cardboard is not advisable for a skirt that you want to be beneath your knee, unless you want it short. But if you want it longer than that, then this brown paper is the best. And also, I would also advise that you fold your paper into two. If you're trying to manage paper and you use just one side to cut it out, it is going to affect you when you want to do the slash and spread method. So to get your accurate measurements, it is advisable to fold your pattern into two, just like this, and take your accurate body measurement before you slash and spread. So just watch and follow the procedure and you'll understand why I said this
Method. Then after that, I measured my waist, divided it by 4, which is this. I got 9.5. Then for the hip, I came down by 9 inches. I came down by 9 inches and I measured the hip divided by 4, 45 divided by 4, which gave me 11.25. But I used 11.5 for the main hip. Then for other parts from the hip downwards, I made use of 11.25. That's why you can see that little slanted space. I would advise you use your hip just like the way I did here, so that the nail side doesn't become tight when you join it together. So this is like basically what you need for the measurement of the pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. So this is what we call the splash and spread method. I gave about 2 inches interval. Then I use my pen to trace it out straight down. So this is how it is going to be. I might likely end up using 28 inches. So I'm just going to cut this remaining 2 inches away because I'm not sure if my material will be enough. So what I will do is I will go ahead to cut this thing out. That's slashing.
Thought for this is that you want the skirt to sit on your body perfectly. If you'll be using an elastic for this, it's not necessarily important because it's an elastic. It is something that would likely stay on your body. But if you know that you'll be plinting it or making it gathers on the material, then the slash and spread method is advisable because by the time you draw everything up or anything, or you're using a loop or anything, this slash and spread method is advisable because by the time you plait your skirt, it's going to lay on your perfect body size. It's going to lay on your waist and your hip properly. So that's why this method is quite okay. One of the possible method for this style. But if you know you don't have the time for this, you could just use an elastic to just tape it in, and then that's all. Or there's another way of doing this. You can actually do this on your main fabric without going through this process. But this process is beginner friendly. This will make you not spoil your material or waste your fabric because you're trying to be an expert. So I would advise that you just do this process instead. This will help you manage your fabric. So whatever you're doing, do it on the pattern, then you can now transfer to your main fabric. But if you're an expert or you like freehand or you just want to go straight to your material and do the cutting, you could just measure the waist, then you go down by 8 or 9 inches. Then from that 9 inches you can measure your hip all round. You can double your length by 2, and that is how you would get it. Then you do a normal gathers and you join together. But this is a safe process for beginners.
not everybody would know or understand this method. Now, this is one of the methods that I use when my material is not enough, or I am trying to manage, or I do not want to waste time in cutting. So what I do is I fold my material into two. After folding it into two, then I'll now fold it again by four, but I will not let it be equal. I would leave about 1 inch on the second part of, when you fold it into two, the other two, as you're lapping it on the other two, you're going to leave about 1 or 2 inches for your zipper allowance. So that's what I mean by leave. But if you know you don't understand this process, you can just cut it separately, fold it into two, cut, then put it on another material and cut the back side, leaving your zipper allowance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a starting line just to make this as neat as possible. So this is my starting line. I'm going to measure my hip, which is 9.5. So I'm just going to do 9.5. I'll measure the full length, which is 28. So I'm going to use 28. Or let me use 29. So this is 29. I'll use my tape rule and roll it down. So after that, I'm just going to cut this out. So this is the skirt. My hip, 11 1/4. So I'll come down by 9 inches. 9 inches. Then I'm going to measure 11 1/4. Okay, I use 11.5 over here. So this is this. Then after that, I use 11 1/4 all over. So I'm just going to So this is my actual hip measurement. This is what I am going to use as a guideline. First off, I'm just going to take down the zipper allowance all through. I'm going to measure it down. And after that, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement, which is 8.5 plus half measurement for sewing allowance, which is going to give me 9. Thank you. I just want to quickly show you guys something before I take it to the machine and stitch it out. Now I discovered that this place that has two stitching is bringing out more printed design. There's no elastic on it, to remember. I just gather it, then I sew it together. So as I was sewing it together, that was how I formed this. I had to measure my hip as I was sewing it. I didn't make use of the pattern anymore. Majority of the time I like using my free hand, so I wanted to double stitch it and then do a single stitch to compare. And then I noticed that the double stitching is forming more gathers. Look at it. Look at how it's looking. Look at how it's looking. Look at the single stitching. Look at how it's looking. So I prefer this one more than that. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to take it over to my machine. Then on this other side I'm going to do a double stitching very close straight down, and I'll bring it back to the machine. So I am done with the sewing of the skirt and the top. The next step now is to join the band. I'm going to take this over to my machine, then I'm going to do it like this, and I'm going to sew it straight. I'm going to sew it like this. I'm going to join it together. I'm also going to face right side to each other, then I'll just join it together. So I think 3 inches is okay. I'm also going to do the same thing for the main material. So guys, my battery is low, but I'm just going to quickly show you guys how the skirt is looking like after attaching this band. So the band is still here, I haven't trimmed it yet, but this is the skirt, this is how it is looking. You can see how fine it is. Look at the printing. Look at it, very lovely. This is how it is looking. Look at the back. I'm not even done with it. If you watch it, it's printing because I just did a gather stitch to hold this and down for the zip. So I'm not done with it yet. Look at how it is looking. How it is looking. Very nice. I'm loving it. I'll just rip it off to give that neat ending. So what I did was I just measured my half length. Since there's a band on the skirt, I removed the 2 inches for the band. Normally my half length is 16 plus it, so I removed the 2 inches, which will now give me 14. So I measured the 15 inches. I might use 1 inch to sew. Then I also left, but for this place I came up by ½ inch again, aside from the 15 inch. So this is 14.5. This other side too is also 14.5. Then here the middle point is 15 inches. So I'll just add my skirt to it, join it together, and then after joining the band, I went ahead to close it. You already know how to close the band. I just went ahead to close it just to make this place neat. You might leave it if you know that you have a whipping machine. You can just leave it there. You whip everything all through. But I'm not going to whip this side. I won't my time. It's going to consume my time. So this is the middle point. This is the midpoint of my skirt. And this is the midpoint of my top, which I have notched already. This is it. I've notched it. So I'll just place this middle point, this midpoint. Use my hand to drag this place up because the material is stretchy, but still it won't be obvious because it's stretchy fabric. So I'll just place this one on it like this, then take it to my sewing machine, sew this place to the back, to the end side, then turn to the other side and sew here, and then I'll come back to show you guys. What I did next is, because my material is a stretchy material, I had to measure the shoulder again, trimmed it out, then I went ahead to add my sleeve. Now in the next episode, I'll be showing you guys how to do the ruched sleeve, because it's the ruched sleeve I actually use for this dress, for the gown. So in the next episode, I'll be showing you guys how to do it in less than 20 minutes. But this is all for the video. Because of the time, I think I'll have to end here. If you've watched up to this extent, it means you actually learned one or two from my video. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and see you in my next video. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting my small channel.